This episode brought to you by Gray Block Pizza. Gray Block Pizza at 1811 Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles. Consider Gray Block. What's up, you little sassy Thundercats, huh? You little nippled gristle lurkers. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? It's a wild time, baby. I was thinking, tech is the new fossil fuel. You realize that? Broadband is the new oil. Think about that. Broadband is the new oil. Am I nuts? I might be, man. I just might be. Get in there. Thank you guys for being here. Good day to you.
30 miles on the Gulf Stream, I hear the south wind moan. The bridge is getting lower, the shrimp boat's coming home. The old man down in the corner slowly turned his head, takes a sip from his whiskey bottle, and this is what he said. I was born in the rain on the Ponce train underneath the Louisiana moon. I don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, a devil's daughter, she's hard, she's cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. Man came down from Chicago, he gonna set that levee right.
It takes a whole lot of water to wash away New Orleans. And that song right there is Hurricane by Band of Heathens. And that song was submitted to us by our listener, Josh Wilcox. And Gordy from the band gave us permission to use it. And I know there's a lot of people out there struggling or have been struggling with the rains. And they're struggling over there in, Hurricane Florence, And that's a watery bitch that's out there, that brackish bad girl. She's out there, just being a real bitch. And I know that water, it's probably hit a lot of people's possessions. You see a lot of people struggling out there. A lot of people, or a lot of people are going to be going back to their homes and things aren't going to be there. And I was just thinking a lot about that. I was thinking a lot about, like, if you take off, you take my shirt, or you take my hat, or you take my, it could be for a child, it might be a teddy bear or a blanket. Or my favorite sheets when I was young, I had these Smurf sheets. And I always felt like for some reason I slept so much better when I had those on my bed. Or for a teenager, it could be a laptop or a cell phone. For an adult, it could be a watch. Maybe it's a watch that your dad gave you, or your grandfather, or a locket, or something your mother gave your grandmother, or a dress, or a wedding dress. Something that people are going home and something that they cherish isn't going to be there. And all they're going to be left with is, not all they're going to be left with, but, it's wild when we take away, when those skins that the luggage, the things we carry, when those are gone, when those get taken away and we're just left with ourselves, that can just be, I just know that's going to be trying. It's going to be tough for a lot of people. So just know that you're not alone, that people are thinking about you. And we'll find some places you can donate. We're going to donate through our Patreon. We're going to donate, and we'll find a couple of links of places you guys can donate that are legit sources of places to donate if you choose to. I'm not saying you have to, but we're going to look up some good ones. We're going to make some donations from Patreon. And yeah, just when the things are gone, who are we? Who am I left with when I'm just standing there, when all my little accoutrements and my doodads, and when that's all been waterlogged, when Mother Nature's coming back and just, She got that, that saliva just, she's just soggy in your whole world up. I bet that takes a lot of faith in that moment. A lot of just, man, you got each other at that moment, I'm sure that really, I'm sure that's a real test of who am I? What can I do this? Can I put my family on my shoulders? Can I not, can I not show my fear in front of my children? Can I, I'm sure it puts a lot of things on a lot of parents, especially a lot of parents' shoulders. So just know that you're not alone this week and that other people are thinking about you. I was inspired this week, man. I was over there in Nashville. And man, when I tell you I had a great time, man, I had a great time. Here's a call that came in. This is somebody who's at the show.
Hey Theo, this is Brooke from Austin. I was in Nashville this past week and I took my coworker to see your show on Friday night, The Late Show, and we had a great time. It was hilarious. We actually met you afterward, and dude, honestly, I don't know what happened, but I was so nervous to meet you that I just turned into an alien or something. I think I blacked out maybe.
You blacked out? What do you mean? You ended up dating brothers after the show? Or what are you talking about, young lady? Onward.
My mind was completely blank and I couldn't even think of words to say to you. I think I just kind of walked up to you and said my name, maybe.
Hey, well, that's a great place to start, And I just appreciate you coming out, Brooke. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you brought your coworker out. That's sweet of you, and a lot of people came out. I just wanted to put your call in there just to say thank you for coming. And so I was probably nervous too. Look, it's nervous for me. I'm meeting a lot of people, and I want to be respectful of people's time. And a lot of people, they got their lady with them, and you don't want to be. You try not to ogle and look at their lady's breasts or nothing. You're trying to just be a natural, a comfortable legal adult and be, be legitimate in your own, make good brain choices and not be trying to brain down on somebody, somebody's. Bro, this one guy brought a lady out. Come on, moi. Dude, look, if they drove past a dairy farm, bruh, I'd be damned if somebody wouldn't herd her up, bro. She had them straight up milkers on her, son. She had some. Look, I've had 2%. She had this lady would have had 40%. She had them just, them, you know what I'm saying? Them leche bad boys, Them leche malo hermanos. I mean, she just, dude, look, if you motorboated that, man, you better hope that a game warden comes by in his little boat and checks on you, because you could drown out in there. You could drown. This lady had no joke. I even told her husband straight up, I said, bro, look, I love you. I'm respectful of you guys, but your wife got them danger bags out here. Because, dude, they had a dog about a half block away, and this dog stopped and looked. The dog stopped and looked at human adult breasts. So that's when boy, she had a couple of fucking just rib cage Plutos, baby. I mean, just 2 fucking big old space shuttles on her chest, man. Real hitters. But thank you for coming out. I want to say that. And also we had some people that escaped the storm. They had to relocate and they came out to the show. And I thought that was really, really awesome. I want to say the guy's name was Tyler. I can't remember exactly, but I know him and his girlfriend came out and they had a great time. And man, that just, it felt so good to be a part of, just making something good, man. We had fun, dude. We had so much fun in Nashville. Man, somebody came and brought me some treats, some Louisiana treats, boy, a little bit of coffee and chicory. And I don't know if you ever had that coffee and chicory, bruh. Chicory will make you just turn into a squirrel, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Chicory, dude. Chicory will give you that fucking Like, you know? You know that face you make when you eating corn on the cob? Chicory will make you do that, man, with no corn. Just, you know what I'm saying, boy? Chicory will turn you into something. Turn you into a little tree squirrel, you know? Or just even a little tree mouse. Chicory will give you that get. You know, that's that bass, you know. That's that bass line. That's that nature's Tourette's right there. That, Chicory, boy. Make it seem like your fucking, like your heart, like your spine is doing little sneezes, you know, like chicory got that in it. It'll turn you up. They brought me out some pralines from New Orleans, man. Just some nice treats. I got somebody made me this nice bracelet they got. Somebody else brought me some bracelets. One of them said onward. One of them said you are loved. One of them said get that hiera. Dude, I look, man, I just want to thank you so much to everybody that came out of Nashville. I cannot thank you enough. Breasty Jeff came out. Breasty Jeff. Remember, Jeff was somebody that called in and he had, speaking of breasts, and this might be a breast-isode. This might be the breast-isode ever. He had them, you know, them man-to-tots. And he had him, boy, and look, so he comes up, we start talking, he's there with this lovely lady. Next thing I know, he's like, hey, man, it's me, Jeff. And I'm like, holy shit. And then I turn to the line, there's a line of people there, and I said, guys, it's Jeff with the tits. And he broke the tits out. Them boy tots. You know? And look, man, I'll tell you this, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm into women. You know, I prefer women unless, you know, it's, you know, I'm stuck on an island and dude is fucking being real, and some dude is being real nice to me. I prefer women. You know, that's mi preferencia is, you know, el chupa. But man, he had some fucking, I mean, he had some just a couple of little they look like mounds of kind of just hard honey, bruh. I mean, they were B's too. They were not, you're thinking A's, aren't you? Some of y'all are thinking lowercase A's or uppercase A's. No, he had them fucking, I mean, B's, but also looked like each one of them had maybe a staph infection. They was, you know, they were taut. They were just some taut B's, and they were beautiful. And the whole crowd cheered. Everybody's like, yeah, hey, that's Jeff with the tits. And then some lady got pissed. She's like, at her husband. She's like, don't be looking at that man's tits. Like, dang, dude, people are turning out around here. But dude, we had so much fun, man. So many great people came out. A young lady named Allie came out. I want to thank her. Breasty Jeff came out, man. You know, he came out with his lady. And if you're on the YouTube, we're flashing pictures of both of those people. And we'll throw a couple of other pictures of some people that came out to the show. Who else? I mean, just so many people came in and you know, brought gifts and nice things and just made it such a memorable experience, man. Nashville is beautiful. And dude, I'll be honest, I'm thinking about going there in a couple of months and maybe looking for a place and having the opportunity to you know, to be back and forth in between places, and just the vibe there is good, man. The vibe there is good, and thank you so much for coming out to Zany's this weekend. Dude, so the manager, one of the managers there, his father passed away, right? I don't know if you put this on my Instagram, and look, we're all gonna pass away. You know what I'm saying? So if you think in your brain you're gonna be out here forever, then I mean, you wouldn't want that. You don't want to be 900 years old. You know, you don't even know nobody you even know even knows anybody that you knew growing up. You don't want that, right? So we got to go on. You got to go to that next, you know, into that next womb. You got to pop out of that next vagine into another galaxy. Pop, dude. You know, and the crazy thing about being born is that you come out head first, dude. Isn't that crazy? You never been into a universe before. This is a new galaxy, and you straight up pop out head first out of somebody's crotch. It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre. Because that's why if somebody's breech birth, I'm like, oh, this is if somebody's breech birth, I'm thinking, oh, this person, is makes good sense. They make good choices. They go feet first into a new galaxy, because that's really the way to go. 1 foot in, 1 foot, you know what I'm saying? Go just, but some creepopotamus dude who goes head first out into the freaking, into the world. Whew, it really is. It's ridiculous, really. So I'm about that breech birth gang, bruh. BBG, son, till I DIE. And who else came out? Man, everybody came out. We had a good time. A couple people came out that had babies, that had children coming. Man, it was just really, really special. And all the shows were sold out. And I met so many great people, and it means a lot to me. There were some people I know they wanted to talk more, and I wanted to talk more. And by Saturday night on the late show, I'm usually just kind of exhausted, man. It's it's just a lot. It's a lot of talking on the stage, but man, it was awesome. I had such a great time. I went for a run around Vanderbilt University. I enjoyed that. What else happened? And that's that was kind of it. I caught up on some rest during the day. I tried to get out to an AA meeting and I didn't get to one. And my apologies for not getting over there. And that was it, man. It was something, bro. It was something else, though. But thank you to everybody that came out. The people that are out there struggling, that were displaced, or people that are getting back to their homes and they're going to be missing some things. Just know that you're not alone. Just know that you're not alone, that people are thinking about you and praying for you, and just hoping that, that greater things, internal things, probably the feeling you're going to get of being out. Like, imagine how a hug feels with someone you love after everything you have is gone. And I know that's crazy. Maybe that's an obtuse way to think. But man, that a hug with someone you could love. It could be a family member. It could be a camp counselor if you're of age. Don't be doing something not right. But imagine how that hug feels, knowing that you got something. You got somebody else. And so if there's anybody out there feeling like, they lost it all, just know that you got us. People are thinking about you. Oh, man. What else is going on? Oh, I was looking at the news, and they had this guy, Kavanaugh, is supposed to be the new Supreme Court guy, and they're just ripping this dude. I mean, they've ripped him about 3 bungholes by now. And I think some things are good in this time, where it's like now people are really starting to investigate who candidates are, but then some of it's like, they've been beating this dude up and down the branches for a week or whatever. And probably a lot, I mean, these days it's like if you're a white person, you're kind of fucked. Or people are trying to pin a lot of tails on that white donkey. And look, that everybody's got to take their turn being the donkey. But I just feel like at a certain point that it seemed like they've been unfair to this guy, in the sense, well, this is what happened. Now they have a woman who was, who claims to be that she claims to have been sexually assaulted by him 35 years ago when they were in high school. And they were drinking at a house or something. Kids were drinking, and he made advances towards her. He was aggressive towards her, and she ran out of the place. And I have no clue if that happened or not. I have no idea. But what I start thinking is like if you did something in high school, and this is 30 years later, 20 or even, 15, even if it was 15, like, at this point, there's just never going to be anybody that can be a role model anymore? We've all made some mistakes in our life. If you went back to high school, everybody I know in high school at some point was either perving or hoeing. Look, pick a night. At some party, at some event, at something, kids was sexual. Dude, you're just a bouillabaisse of hormones at that point. And I understand when you say, well, Theo, this man's supposed to be a judge, on the highest court in the land. Well, yeah, but it's what I'm saying is like, is there no more understanding anymore? Because otherwise, no one's ever going to be able to do anything. Dude, if you look at the poor choices I made when I was in high school, dude, I made a lot of great choices, but if you look at the poor choices, dude, I remember being at a party once. I've talked about this before, and I was wasted. I just remember being at the party, and then later, a buddy of mine, I was living with his family, and he comes and he put me in a headlock, and I had a piece of steak. I had a little cut of steak or sirloin. Skirt meat. And skirt meat I'm sure has a different, down in Tijuana, that's got a different, connotation. But I'm talking about natural skirt steak from an animal. And I had a little bit of that in my jaw. And he came in the house and started choking me, man. And it's hard, dude. It is hard to eat a piece of steak and get choked out at the same time. Because you need all your throat to get a piece of steak down sometimes. And if somebody's, throttling on your neck and they put you in that hard scarf, it's hard to be natural. But he goes, dude, what happened? This girl at the party said that you hit her or said that you pushed her down. And dude, I had no recollection of it. I had no recollection of ever even speaking to that girl. I knew the girl he was talking about. She was a friend of mine. She was a girl that I thought was cute, that I thought was funny and charming and sweet. And he told me that, man, and it broke my heart, And it broke my heart. And it broke my heart the next day when I was, more sober. And he told me about it. And man, I went and took her flowers and I asked her, what had happened. And I don't even honestly remember what she said. But I could tell that she knew I was sincere and that I didn't remember it. And I could tell that I think I felt like she forgave me. She said she did, and I brought it up to her years after that as well, and repeatedly I would, just to check in and make sure that she was okay. But what I'm just saying is, like, what if I went to get a job at a manager? What if I want to, be a manager at a Staples or something like that? And somebody comes and says, well, you did this when you were, 15, 20 years ago. Like, well, fuck, man. Yeah. It's just like everybody makes some mistakes. Everybody does things. And here's the thing. It's like, we don't know who, at 35 years ago, they don't know if this judge did it or not. I mean, only he knows, and the woman knows exactly what happened. But it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like, at some point, we're human beings. It's almost like we're holding people accountable to something that's not even realistic. Everybody's made a mistake. Everybody's done something wrong. You know why? Because we're fucking people that do shit wrong. That's what we are. The definition of people should be beings that do shit wrong sometimes. So I don't know, man. That shit just got me irked out. It's like, what's next? What if he hadn't done anything? What if he had never even been accused of doing anything? This man, Mr. Kavanaugh, or Kavanaugh. I'm not sure exactly how you say it. But it's just like, they've beat up this man's character. Like, nobody's character is no one's is. And it's just like, have we lost a place of understanding? And I don't think we have. I think that the news has. I think that, the news wants it to be that people are angry. The news wants us to be angry. The news wants us to fight each other and think, oh, everybody's a racist and everybody's this and everybody's a sex offender. No, I don't think a lot of people are. And, you know, and who knows, maybe this guy will come out and say, you know, he did something worse than what they're accusing him of. But we've all made some poor choices, man, you know. I mean, if for the rest of my life you held me accountable for, you know, for being aggressive with this girl at this party when I was drunk as a child and didn't remember, as a teenager, not a child, and didn't remember it, you know, would that be fair? I feel like it wouldn't be. I feel like it wouldn't be. I don't know. It's crazy. We holding people to a wild esteem and not even a real one. We're holding people to something that's not even real. Nobody's perfect, man. You know, nobody's perfect. Maybe let them sit down and talk about it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting off on, but anyway, man, what else is going on? We had some great calls that came in. I'm going to be in Toronto coming up this weekend, and I'm fired up about that. What else? Then I'll be in Charlotte, and then I'll be in Appleton, Wisconsin. I'll be in Phoenix, Buffalo, Salt Lake City, and Washington, D.C. I want to tell you what I got on right now in my pants. And I have on MeUndies. That's right. These bad, and they holding that low brisket in them daddy jewels, bruh. Dude, think of how much DNA is inside of your crotch, in your nuts. Really fascinating, isn't it? Think about all your ideas, all your future, whatever your whole family, your great-great-great-great-grandparents. Part of them is living inside of your nuts. And so don't you want to take care of your nuts with something decent and wrap them in something soft? Well, that soft thing can be MeUndies. They're the best underwear. They use a micro-modal fabric, which is 3 times softer than regular cotton. Dude, have you ever seen regular cotton? Have you ever had vitamins? In the top, there's a little chunk of free regular cotton in there. And this is 3 times softer than vitamin cotton. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. You're going to love these undies, and you can support the podcast. And that's what I'm saying. Support the podcast. So get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Go to MeUndies, MEUNDIES.com/weekend. That's MeUndies.com/weekend. And take care of your great-great-great-great-grandparents' DNA with a fresh pair of MeUndies with that 3 times softer than vitamin cotton. Gang. Now, let's take a call, man. The hotline is 985-664-9503. And you can call if you have anything going on, you want to share a struggle, a moment, an experience, or chime in as to what happened in part of the show. Let's hear Onward.
Theo, this is Cody from Newton, Kansas. Just finished listening to your podcast, and you were talking about some hardships with being a new parent, and I was just going to say that when me and my wife found out we were having a kid, I only wanted to have a boy.
Oh, thanks for calling, Cody. I appreciate it. And you and your wife only wanted to have, or you only wanted to have a boy. You were saying Onward.
It's only, growing up, I always wanted a boy to coach in sports and stuff. And so I found out we're having a girl, and kind of bummed me out. And it took a week or two after she was born to really feel a connection with her. But now she's almost 2 years old, and she's totally a little daddy's girl. And I spend every second I can with her, and she, always wants to be with me, and sometimes my wife gets sad because she's more of a daddy's girl than a mama's girl. So, and then also I was just going to say that I had a ex-problem with being an oxy addict. A couple of years ago, I finally stopped and got clean, and just wanted to say this podcast helped me out a lot with that. So thanks for everything.
You bet, man. Thank you for the call, and thanks for sharing your story. When I think about you, I don't know you, but when I think about you and I see a dad, who's clean and not struggling with OxyContins or those types of pills, or those types of fucking spirit weakeners. A Native American would never take no OxyContins, bro. An OG Native American, one of the originals, bro. You know what I'm saying? anybody these days, everybody. You know, if the Sioux these days, if you met the Sioux, half of them is probably keyed up on Percocets. You know, I mean, and I'm not saying just them, anybody. Fucking half of people with the last name Walters are probably on fucking Percocets. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the nation is setting. But it's nice when I think about you and I think about your daughter and I think about you being clean, man. It's amazing what a child can do. It's a nice visual for me to have. A man who overcame something and now gets to spend time with a daughter that he loves, you know. That's a beautiful thought. And there's something, man. Look, I have 3 little nieces, and the third one I don't know that good, but man, my other 2 nieces, man, I love them so much. You know, and the little one, she's like a mimic. Some kids are talkative, but a lot of it is just mimicry. You know, they hear something and then they share it. And man, she could do that with she would hear something, she would just be sharing. I mean, she was almost like a little recorder, kind of a little phonograph, but she's still the sweetest. And yeah, there's nothing, little girls can be very sweet, you know, and there's, man, it's just so, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to hear that, man. And thank you for sharing that with me. You know, even just that fear of like, man, a girl, you know, some little girl gonna be running around the house, you know, putting nail polish on everything, you know, putting perfume on, you know, in my shoes and all of that, you know, and, you know, growing up and, you know, turning into maybe a real bitch, you know, or something like that, or, you know, getting the My Little Pony, you know, maybe a dad is like that. It's like tough to think about that. And then you think about, oh, I got to change, you know, now I'm going to have to, you know, cut her hair short and, you know, get her a catcher's mitt, you know, and I'm still going to try to keep her dating guys, but I'm also going to try to teach her sports, you know, so I'm sure there's a lot of that, but then you get the girl, you know, and then you adapt, and a week later, you know, those fears or whatever that was, all that slips away and love wins right there at the end, man. Man, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, dude, and congratulations. Congratulations, bruh, on being a father and on being a father over your own addictions, man. Because, dude, you're a daddy to 2 things, bruh. You're a daddy to 2 things, son. Amigo. Onward. Let's take another call.
Hey, Theo. This is Anna calling from just outside Toronto.
Hey, Anna. I'll be in Toronto this week, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about that. I'm grateful to be heading up there to Canada, dude. And Canada, that's, you know, a lot of people don't think Canada's real, and it is. Onward.
Last time I listened to your podcast, you mentioned something about leaving a message about families and having children.
Yeah, I did. On the last episode, I was talking about that because, you know, I have a lot of fear surrounding it. You know, I find that I have some deep commitment issues that I've been dealing with and trying to, you know, go to therapy about. And I was trying to think, because I've had trouble in relationships and stuff, and now I'm realizing it's actual commitment. It's commitment. Like, just, it's tough for me. But onward.
I have 1 child. She's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And I just wanted to leave the message about how great it is to even be able to have 1 child. I wanted to have more than 1, but I lost many other children that I tried to have, meaning miscarriages. And it was one of the hardest things that probably has ever happened to me, because I always thought I could have maybe a brother or a sister.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that you have that. You know, it's wild. It's like, you know, there's only so many pathways into the world, you know, and I think some of it's just traffic, you know, God sometimes doing that air traffic control, that air traffic crotch troll, you know, where it's like sometimes, you know, they got to detour, they got to bring a kid in over here because, you know, the tunnels or something, or they doing construction, or, you know, and they got to make sure the kids, everybody gets in the world safely. You know, the train's coming by, and, you know, they had a collision over here, and they got twins off the you know, this one off the L train, and, you know, and the, you know, Vagine and all of that. And sometimes they, you know, it's a lot of air traffic control. But I'm glad to hear that you have a beautiful daughter. Let's hear more.
For my baby girl. but I was unable to do so, and now that time has passed. But I'm so thankful to have had her. She's the greatest thing.
I appreciate you calling and sharing that. Yeah, it's like I meet, women, and they say they don't want to have children, and that's fine. Children is not for everybody, and a lot of people, it's like, yeah, people are like, I don't want to bring children into this world, and that's fine. Then you won't, and that's fine. And I thought about that. I've been blessed with a bunch of nieces and nephews, so I'm like, maybe, obviously that part of my heart has been filled up, these temporary placeholders in my heart have been put there to kind of keep, or honestly, really, dude, my family and I, we didn't even really love each other until my sister had a baby. And for a lot of us in my family, it just really brought us together. It's so hard to be around a baby and not, it's crazy. The power of a baby is so powerful. My little niece, that she made me love her mother, my sister. And I didn't not love my sister by any choice of mine. It had just been, we'd never really had any love in our family like that. And I just, and just the amazingness, the power of that is fascinating. There's nothing I could do right now really that would make, there's nothing you can do really. There's no magic. There's no David Blaine trick that you could do that would make somebody feel like that and would change, would then change the feeling you had about another member of your family. But when I spent time with my niece, man, it made me love my sister. It just made me, I can't even tell you. It was infectious. It was it was just like, she was like the David Blaine. And she fucking pulled just a love rabbit right out of my damn aorta cage, baby. And I've got the rib cage of a fucking large cat. And when I was born, the doctor said that I had the heart of a lesbian. And he said that for years. And he said that he'd only ever said that to one other person. And that man actually ended up dying, got hit by a Amtrak. So, according to that doctor, I'm that last bad boy with that lesbian ticker in me. And so that's pretty wild, I guess. There's a lot of pressure too at times. But I'm glad you have that. And sometimes in the world, I think, I have some friends and they're superstars. And they, but they chosen to work so much that they don't have the motherhood thing. Or they didn't have time for it. Or it's not going to fit into their lives. They built such busy work lives. And sometimes I feel for them. And I worry because here's my thing is, I think, dude, a woman, they got that magic. You know what I'm saying? They got that, that Siegfried and Roy. They got that fucking, vulva Copperfield, bro. They can make a child. You can make a child. Coolest thing I can make, dude, honestly, I make a pretty badass bread pudding. But I can't make a fucking baby, dude. And women have that ability. And so sometimes I'm all for women's empowerment. I'm all for women getting a fair shake in anything. Nothing makes me, matter. I know there's a man, I talked about it on here recently that wasn't paying my mother fairly. And he was making her work hard, and she's out there, toting these newspapers around and pushing these magazine bundles and pulling them off of semi trucks and stuff at 70 years old. And that man lied to her whenever he gave her that, that thing and said there'd be somebody to help her, and just a fucking snake. A fucking snake. And that shit makes me mad. I'm all about equal everything. But what I don't like is, what worries me is making women feel Like that if they aren't a CEO or they aren't a bad bitch in a fucking suit, then that they aren't a woman. And that's what I see sometimes. There's some young ladies out there that just, you know, that I'm noticing they just, I don't know. I don't know. They almost seem to like they don't like being a woman or something. And look, I'm just shooting all out of my fucking face hole. But to me, the most women can do anything amazing, you know? I mean, in my imagination, Amelia Earhart's still out there fucking scooting around. But if you could have the opportunity to be a mother to do that, I don't think, women should be in the fucking kitchen. But I think, dang, you get the chance to be a mother and have something love you that you created inside of your body, and you want to work your way up a corporate ladder, and maybe you can do both, and maybe I'm just comparing two of the wrong, but to feel a pressure to do that, I would just hate it if there was. I feel that I'm noticing women who feel like they're missing out on a good opportunity because they feel like a pressure to live up to this societal kind of push that's going on that to me feels really, really manufactured, you know? Because that's a crazy gift, man. Because you got to get here, bruh. You got to get into the carnival if you want to get out on the Gravitron. And dude, when I was growing up, they had this man over by the Gravitron, and because we live by the fairground. So you could go over, so the fair was open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know what I'm saying? You can go over there and, you could go on the rides, and usually you get fucking electrocuted. A bunch of fucking, half the people's in recovery and relapsing out there plugging shit in and hooking up dangerous rides, and shit was sharp, and you'd fucking, win a couple things of taffy and lose a thumb, and who gave a fuck? And you'd call that a win. But I remember being sometimes at the, so we went over there on Wednesday. We could walk down from my neighborhood, and for 25 cents, you could go on the rides. And I've talked about this before, but we were experimental animals. They were fucking trying these bitches out, dude. And sometimes I remember getting in one thing and everybody went to smoke a blunt or something, and we were locked in the cage for about 2 hours. The dude fucking forgot. Idiot. And we're in there just sweating in a fucking cage halfway upside down on the damn, whatever it's called, the appendectomy or whatever the damn rides were called, piece of shit. And, but they had the Gravitron, and the Gravitron, you get in there, and they had this dude that looked like Slash from Guns N' Roses, just long hair, and he had his nose pierced in like 95 different places, man. I mean, it would take a dude probably 36 hours to fucking unhinge himself around a metal detector just so he could, pass through a secure area. But he would get the music going, and then this dude would fucking get his damn dick out. And I remember it as clear as day, man, because I only saw probably 3 adult dicks as a child. And this dude would get that damn dick out, bro. And you were pinned to the wall. Remember, the Gravitron was the thing that pinned you to the wall. So you can't even move. And you're hearing, "Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games." And that's when that dude would just play that fucking air, He played that that meat guitar, bro, that self dick. And that shit was but that was awesome, dude. Those were the good times. And you'd leave out of there and nobody wanted to be like, "Did you see the guy's dick?" Because you were so, the Gravitron kind of pinned you back, so you couldn't even move your neck or anything. You were just like, "Damn, am I so dizzy? I'm just seeing, an extra dick." So, man, that guy had people caged out, and he'd be out there spraying out and fucking. I'm just glad I didn't catch a little bit of extra, that DNA on my neck or something. Because you hit them nuts hard enough with that wrist, and you get that DNA. But thank you for calling. Let's take another call in response to last week about the children.
Hey, Theo, you wanted to know what it's like to have kids, and I've had my kids for, the oldest one is now 11. I got a 9-year-old and a baby 3-year-old.
Ooh, that's cool, man. I wish I had, like, my mom would have a kid right now, because I'd have a little brother or sister or something, and he could be like 6 or something, you know? And dude, I would do crazy shit to that motherfucker, bruh. I'd make him carry a rabbit everywhere. I'd make him wear no shirt either. And I would just write dirty words on his back, bro, in lipstick. You know what I'm saying? And just let him ride in the back seat like I'm an Uber driver. And people are like, damn, you see that kid? It says fuck on his back, and he's got a damn rabbit. That dude is badass. Onward.
And that little 3-year-old, he's the linebacker of the family. The middle kid, he is a little rambunctious, full of emotions, but he did the coolest thing after he started playing baseball, and he said that he wanted to go with a mullet. So the dude has the balls to wear the falls. And the oldest one is just the smartest kid I know. And he is, he's really stinky right now, but man, I love him. I love them all.
Oh, well, that's beautiful. You got a family. They call that a family. And yeah, a lot of kids, you start getting that stink come out of you. I remember this one kid, you know, they called him Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle because his armpits was like sewers. And whenever he would raise his hand in class, people would be like, oh, look at the turtles coming out. And he had that fucking Donatello scent coming out of there, you know, that Raphael. But thanks for calling, man. A lot of people loving their families and feeling uplifted by them. And I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, I just think, you know, I think about it. Because that's the thing. I think if you're on Earth and you can do that, and you feel the calling. Now, some people don't feel it. If you don't feel it, then that's not for you. You got to trust your instincts. But man, to be able to, I would hate to leave the earth and not have had that experience. You know, the opportunity, you know, to love something like that. You know, a buddy of mine was telling me the other day, he's like, man, you know, I had lunch with a friend of mine in Atlanta, actually a friend from high school. I hadn't seen him in a long time. It was pretty cool to kind of catch up. And he was older than me in high school. He was like a year older. And it's weird, even now, you know, 20 years later, I still look up to him as if he's still like he's a senior and I'm a junior. It's like this weird energy that kind of never leaves a little bit. But he was telling me, you know, that he, you know, how he loved his wife and he loved his parents. And he never realized he could love something more, that there was another level of love until he had his children. And that's just fascinating because that's something that's inside of us. That's something that's deep inside of us, man. And just to hit those levels, those free fucking levels of love, and all you got to do is skeet up on an egg, bruh, and let the Lord just grill that thing up and just... Whew, that zygote omelet, baby. Gang, gang. Come on. I want to tell you right now, if you have friends or loved ones and you don't like spending time with them, well, then they are unruly bastards. And what you can do is actually play a game with them called Unruly Bastards. And what you do is you pick a theme card and then you have to, everybody in your group has to present an answer to it. And this one says embarrassing world records to hold. And I would have to say an embarrassing world record to hold would probably be, I think probably the longest, having one of the longest arms in the world. Imagine having just the longest arm because it's going to hang off the bed at night and the cat is going to it's going to hang just far enough down where it's like almost on the floor and the cat is going to just fuck with it all night. And that would just drive me crazy. Because by day, it's awesome. You got that thing all decorated. You maybe got, you know, ornaments hanging off of it around the holidays. But man, at night when it's hanging off the edge of the bed and those fucking cats get a hold of it, That would be the worst. So having the world's longest arm would be the most embarrassing world record to hold. And that's one of the cards on Unruly Bastards. Unruly Bastards is a hilarious party game for you and your friends. It's super fun. It's simple to play. You have to come up with the best answers to win and become the Unruly Bastard. It's live on Kickstarter right now. This is your chance to get it and be the first to own it. It's only $20. You want to find out how insane and fun your friends really are? Play Unruly Bastards. Go to unrulybastards.com and support their Kickstarter, and you'll get this badass game. That's unrulybastards.com. Oh, man. Let's keep it cruising, man. Thank you guys for some of these calls. I'm grateful to have them here. Let's get that hitter.
Hey, Theo. This is Casper from New Jersey.
Casper, huh? Wow, man. That's wild to be named after a spirit, dude. You know, gin, fucking, malt liquor, Casper, onward. But it's a nice name, though. That's what I meant to say, man. Sorry. Onward.
And, I'm getting ready to go to my brother's funeral. He OD'd on the 2nd. And the head funeral's in Florida, because that's where he's living.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I didn't know that this was going to be one of the calls in here. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Onward.
But he grew up here in New Jersey. And, it's hard. Think about all those memories that just he and I had. No, they're just mine. I guess I had the worst month ever. I don't want anything like a shirt or whatever, but I love your podcast. I love you. I love everyone that listens, and, I felt like, I just need to tell someone.
Man, thanks for calling. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I can't imagine that. I'm sure that your brother loved you. And addiction is very powerful. And that's one of the scary things about it, is that it's more powerful than love. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have to fight it. And yeah, it's, I mean, you made me laugh when you're when you're like, you're not trying to enter the best weekend, worst weekend contest. That you're not trying to win a shirt, dude. You made me laugh. Yeah, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. And I can only imagine that your brother's in a more comfortable place. Because, man, when people are addicts, they just don't know. They don't know. They can't feel it. The pills and all of that, and that dark magic and that dark sauce people put in their body. That shit kills your feelings first. It kills that receptor. You can't feel the love. So you don't know. You don't feel it. But we love you too, man, and I'll give you a call this week and check in. I want to see what's going on. But just know, man, that you're not alone, and that's the thing. Like when, this is your hurricane, this is your Vietnam right now. And I'm sure, when you lose somebody, like, man, there's nothing that matters. What matters? You're, a hat you have, a shirt that stuff, none of it matters. All you are is your feelings at that point. All the rest of it, that is nothing. All you are is your feelings. And man, I can imagine that is very tough. But thank you for sharing with us, and don't feel alone. You know, right now, there's 300,000 people that listen to this. And right now, there's not one of them that's not thinking about you. And that's cool, man. I mean, that's power. That's powerful. You know, and all those people right now are, I can tell you what they're thinking because it's exactly what I'm thinking. They're thinking that when they're thinking that they hope you feel loved. That's it. That you feel loved. Thank you for calling, man. Man, I don't even know what to say after that. And I didn't mean to share that to bring people's spirits into any special type of place, but this is life. You know, and this is life, and this is not life, and this has been something we've been talking about on this episode. You know, it's funny, I was thinking about pro-life and pro-choice and stuff today. I went for a run, and I was thinking about that kind of stuff, and it's just, I mean, life is just, it is a trip. It is a trip, man. It is a trip. Let's take another call here. Here we go. The hotline is 985-664-9503. Onward.
Mr. Vaughn wanted to call in, tell you that, hey, you got an engineer down here in...
A what did he say? Oh, my bad, an engineer. I thought this guy was using racial slurs. Onward.
In goddamn Louisiana. I'm working out here at Baton Rouge.
Oh, that's beautiful. My brother lives down there in Baton Rouge over by the Chase Bank off Kenmore. Let's hear more.
From Kansas City. What do you do in your spare time, though? What I do right now is I'm putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle. Just very curious as to what you do in your leisure. Thank you, and may peace be with you.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I'm going to pass the piece you passed on to me onto the previous caller, so that he can have a little more today. What do I do in my spare time, dude? I'll tell you, my days are extremely similar. You know, I get up, I try to keep myself in a good spirit out of the gate. I hit my knees right when I get out of bed, you know, and I thank a higher power, you know, and you know, this doesn't have to be any denomination or whatever. I thank a higher power for getting me up. You know, I thank a higher power for the opportunity that's ahead of me. I think I ask the world that I look at my day as an opportunity. Like, I don't have to go to work today. I get to go to work, you know? I don't have to talk to my brother or mother today, but I get to talk to my brother or mother today. You know, I don't have, you know, I try to think, oh, I get to do these things. You know, I make a gratitude list, and then I check in with others. And that's my just morning routine. In my leisure time, I might go see Christopher Robin tonight. I might go see that movie, Christopher Robin. What else? I've been running recently. I've been thinking about doing adult fitness. I've been scheduling people to come into the podcast. We got Brendan Schaub coming in. Sebastian Maniscalco is going to be coming in. Ron White is going to be coming in as guests. What do? I think about stuff a lot. You know, I listen to speeches and stuff on tape. I listen to AA speakers. What else do I do like that? That's a fun thing. I bought some clay the other day. And I've been thinking about making some little clay figures. I also been thinking about, I want to make a little, a show that my nephews can watch on YouTube, because I see them watching certain types of shows on YouTube and stuff, and I want to try and make a show and sneak it up and put it in front of them and see if they like it or not. You know, to see if I can be entertaining to them. That makes me happy, to make them laugh, you know. You know, it's so powerful. You know, my brother has two little boys, and one of them has like the same hair color that I had as a kid, and the other one has the hair color that my brother had as a kid. And when I see them like spending time together and laughing, you know, my brother and I didn't have that. You know, I talk about this family stuff a lot. It's just got me emoed up. My brother and I didn't have that experience. You know, we lived in a nervous environment where we felt a lot of fear, and so we didn't have a lot of peace of heart that came and left us in a place where we would laugh and feel a lot of joy together. So it's funny when I see those kids laugh and feel good, it's almost like I get to live vicariously through them. You know, and it's almost like when I watch them do that, it's like me, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, my brother and I get this now. We get this now because they're doing it, you know, because they live in a comfortable enough environment where, and I'm not talking like financially comfortable or anything like that. I'm just talking about comfort of the heart, you know, where they feel comfortable enough to just laugh and like joke and kick each other and stuff like that. And just, you know, and that's funny. That's one of the powers, I guess, of having children, is to see them have the joys. If there were joys that you didn't get to have or whatever, to cut off those, whatever those troubles were, to cut them off at the pass with your children and make the world a better place. And that's the thing with having kids. I bet it feels like you get to make the world a better place. And that's got to be pretty cool. Like you get to directly make the world a better place by trying to raise a kid with a good heart. So that's got to be an interesting experience. But those are things that I like to do. I would love to play more video games. You know, I want to get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've been doing yoga so that I could get more flexible to get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm at like about 40% adult fitness right now. I would like to get to about maybe 70% by the end of the year. I like thinking about Christmas. You know, Christmas is coming up right around the corner, and I love thinking about Christmas, man. Dude, if I could think about 6 things, all 6 of them would be Christmas, bro. Dude, you put a jingle bell on a stripper, bro, and I'll marry that bitch, man. I love Christmas, dude. I love it. You know, I just love the joys. I love the candles. You know, I like, you know, telling people it's mistletoe and trying to, you know, touch titty and everything and all of that. You know, I like all of the fun and everything. You know, I like people wearing sweaters. I'm thinking about coming out with a line of fucking savage turtlenecks, bruh. Turtlenecks that just say savage on it or bitch on the back. Dude, I was talking about racism and stuff like that earlier. They had this dude when I was growing up. I think this is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard, but you can tell me what you think. This dude had a hat, right? He made a hat, and it said the N word on the back of it, okay? The full one, said it on the back. But then on the front of the hat, it said just joking. So if people would see the back and get pissed, then he would turn around and show them the other side. It said just joking. That's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? Unbelievable. Let's take a call right here. Here we go. Onward.
Hi, Theo. This is Bianca from San Antonio. I'm calling for a worst weekend submission. This past weekend was the last that I'm going to see my boyfriend in a while because he's in the Army and he's going to be deploying for 9 months to a year.
Wow. He deploying for that 9 months, so he might be trying to drop that seedy seed in that vegety G'd. I'm sorry to hear about that this is your worst weekend. I mean, you're up right now against a guy who just lost his brother, so this better be good. I'm just joking, trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Onward.
So it's definitely tough to have to say goodbye to someone you love, and who's also your best friend. So it's scary also to think you might never see that person again. But overall, I do have faith in our relationship, and I'm really hoping I could call you when this tour is over for best weekend submission to say everything was okay and we made it through and we're reunited. Anyways, thanks. I love the show, and thank you for always putting a smile on my face and making me laugh.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That I make you laugh sometimes. That made me feel good. Well, thank you to your husband or boyfriend. Sorry, and man, that's just You know, that's powerful. You know, you got to let him, you know, what's coming to my mind right now, honestly, is a little bit of envy. Because you get to almost have an experience. Like I remember when I was young and, you know, there wasn't a cellular phones and a cellular connections. So if you saw a girl, you thought you might be in love with her, you might never see her again. Or I remember if you were dating a girl at school, and by dating, it just meant just running up to each other sweatily between class one time and saying, hey, once a day. But that was dating in 6th grade or 7th grade or 8th grade. But then on Friday, you knew it was going to be that last moment and the bus is coming and you're standing there and you're so fucking nervous. Because you got to say bye to your girl and get on the school bus. And you're not going to see her until Monday. And Monday, when you're a fucking kid, is a year away. And you know you're not going to see her and all your hormones are just running out to the edge of your body. And you got them man tits, them strong B's like your boy had the other night at the show. And you want to kiss her so bad, but you know you're going to fucking hug her again. Just like you've done the last 30 weeks and 30 Fridays in a row because you're a complete wuss. And that's what you do when the school bus comes up and you can hear it and you're like, I wish it would fucking slow down. And it is going slow. It's going slow as fuck because it's a school bus. But in your mind, it's going fast and it's all happening so quick. And she's standing there and she's waiting to be kissed because she loves you. But you just fucking give her a hard hug. You try to hug her so hard that that it feels like a kiss. Because you're just scared, you know. And then you go away and then you get on the bus and that's it. And she has short hair anyway, and all your brother's friends are all on the bus anyway, yelling out the window, calling y'all lesbians because you got kind of a woman's haircut and she has kind of a man's haircut, and y'all are just meeting in the middle. And anybody who didn't know you guys and saw and just would think you guys were lesbians with good posture, you know, and nice skin. But y'all are a young boy and a young girl hugging each other on a Friday and wishing it was a kiss. Man, I miss those days. And what I'm saying is I miss that you get to miss somebody. I know that's crazy probably to hear, but man, and then and then you wouldn't see your girl till Monday. And you're like, God, what could happen? Maybe she'll move out. What if she moves away this weekend? You had no fucking idea. But you get that experience, you know. You get to think, I mean, I know, I'm sure it's going to be tough, but you get to miss somebody. And these days, it's hard to find, you can't hardly miss anybody. We're so connected. But just trying to make a different perspective. But I'm sure it's tough. You know, I'm sure it's tough. But y'all got each other. You know, and I wish you well with it. All right, let's take another call here. Thank you for hitting the hotline. Here we go.
Hey, man. My name's Dylan. This is kind of a weird one, but I was out in L.A. last week, and we went to the Comedy Store last Tuesday, and you were there, and we had a little bit of a weird interaction where I said hi to you, and I told you I was excited to see you, meaning your stand-up, and you told me that made one of us. And I'm curious, what about that interaction seemed to bother you? I just want to know so that, like, if I ever encounter you again, I can, you know, make sure that I don't offend you in any way or bother you. I just wanted to say, hey, because I love the podcast and I love your stand-up. So just curious what I did wrong there. Get back to me, Theo. I hope to hear this on the podcast, man. Keep being cool, bro.
Thanks for calling, Dylan. I appreciate it. I don't remember this interaction, but I appreciate you calling 100%. But I'm playing this out of my head, and you said, I'm happy to see you. And if I said, oh, well, that makes one of us, I probably was saying, oh, well, if you're happy to see me, I'm probably wasn't feeling happy to see myself. You know, I was kind of having some tough moments last week, and especially a couple of nights when I was at the Comedy Store. You know, I had a day or two last week where I didn't really do anything. And so sometimes the Comedy Store is like, you know, at the end of the day, it's easier sometimes for me to finally get some motivation and get going. And so, yeah, sometimes people will be like, man, it's nice to meet you. And it'll be like, and I'll say, oh, well, that makes one of us. And I didn't mean that it's not nice to meet you. I meant that, oh, well, at least one of us is excited about me, because I probably wasn't feeling excited about myself. Because as I'm playing that in my head, that would be, in my mind, that's how it makes sense. And my mind doesn't always make the best sense. But nice to meet you. And next time you see me, if we see each other again, come up and let's talk about this conversation. And we'll see if that one can go a little bit better. Let's take another call. Thank you for hitting the hotline.
What up, Theo? My name is Mandy.
Oh, Mandy. Dude, my first girlfriend was named Mandy. Mandy. She was beautiful. She was beautiful. She looked like a kind of Native American, and she was like, remember when you were young and just like everything your girlfriend did, just everything about her just made you so damn erect, bro. You could fucking just hang drywall with your own dick. Let's hear more. Thanks for calling.
I'm from Quebec.
Oh, you from Quebecois, huh? Quebecois. More?
Montreal. And I'm here in a little cottage, all right, with this French boy, and I got your podcast playing. And this motherfucker is making me dinner, and all he can do is bitch about your haircut. He's calling it a coupe de longueuil, which is like a redneck slang term for somebody with a mullet. But
yeah, I get grouped in, boy. I get grouped in, you know. I'm that redneck. You know, I'm that lesbian. You know, I'm a duck. You know, maybe my parents was ducks, you know. Or somebody, you know, a lot of raccoons. If I'll be out in the yard at night, I'll turn around, there'll be fucking 6 raccoons right behind me. Like those dudes trying to fuck. But that's okay. The French, he's probably upset I talk about the French a lot. Let's hear more.
Like our version. And I keep trying to tell him, don't make me choose between you and him, because it's going to be Theo all the way, baby.
Gang, gang. Oh, bon, c'est la guerre, marin. So is war, my queen. That's what that means in French. And it is so funny that the first girlfriend, so we broke up, man, and she was learning French at school, and so fucking immediately I have to win her back, right? So I went and bought like 9 French books from Barnes and Nobles, and I'm at the house trying to learn French as fuck, bruh. I'm buying French shit off the internet. I'm buying, you know, shirts with like a quail on them, and, you know, all kind of shit. You know, getting fries and, you know, just being French as fuck, man. You know, buying, you know, little French cans of ham and all kinds of shit, and just talking about French stuff. You know, trying to win her back, man. That's crazy. Let's hear more.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say I love the podcast. I love everything you do. Keep it up. And this French motherfucker, if he says one more bad word about your ass, he ain't getting no dick sucked. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Come on, he ain't getting that French lick, you know? And French Lick is actually a town, I think, in Alabama. Well, look. Yeah, the French, I give the French a hard time, you know? But look, here's the thing. Everybody gives somebody a hard time. Everybody. You know, you start one place, keep going. Everybody says, yeah, it's fucked up here, but it's more fucked up over there. You know, it's like, you know, Tennessee is always like, oh, it's fucked up here, but it's more fucked up in Kentucky. And Kentucky's like, oh, it's fucked up here, but it's more fucked up in Alabama. And Alabama's like, it's fucked up here, but it's more fucked up in Louisiana. And Louisiana's like, it's fucked up here, but it's more fucked up in Mississippi. And Mississippi's like, oh, it's fucked up here, but it's more fucked up in France, you know? And France is like, oh, it's whack, is whack here, but it's more whack in the Gaza Strip, you know? So it's, you know, everybody's got some place. But I got to dump on the French, man. People get French. You know who's French? Chris D'Elia. Chris D'Elia is French, bruh. Look at him. Now think about France. Ta-da. Dude, that dude, is he American, dude? I doubt it. Does he believe in America, in freedom? Doubt it. You know that dude has quails at his house, has crazy fucking pheasants, and all kind of stuff, bruh. He doesn't even eat. I've never seen him eat anything. Occasionally, he'll fucking have a couple teaspoons of vinegar and then bitch about it. Something's wrong with that guy. And what it is he's French. Because here's the thing about French, dude. French means French. They're unhappy with stuff. But look, if you got to blow your boy down, blow him down. If he deserves that hitter, then give him that hitter. But thank you for calling. Bonsoir, ma reine. That means good evening, my queen. Let's hear more. Onward.
Hey, Theo. This is Evan from Texas.
Hey, Evan. Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate your call.
So I just recently started doing stand-up. So I'm 3 years clean and sober, and I'm just curious. I used to do a lot of my creative writing when I was drinking, and having a hard time getting the creative juices flowing. And I was just wondering if you have any techniques on how to channel that creative side while being sober. Just want to know what you think.
Thank you for calling, Evan. Here's what somebody told me, and this is a crazy thing, man. I got a buddy, and he's homosexual. You know, he's 100% homosexual. And he's going to come on a podcast soon and talk to us about what it's like to be homosexual and he does the partying and all of that and chasing that boo-boo hole and all of that and being a sweet boy. And he's a funny guy. And he's actually one of the funniest guys that I know. He really, really is. And he struggles with addiction. And I'm not putting him on blast because I'm not telling you who he is, but he's an open book too. And he's really somebody that I really admire. But he was telling me sometimes he will, and I don't know if you into this thing. Now this sounds French. He'll put a plastic little, kind of butt lozenge into his butt, and it makes him think about stuff. So that's one way you can kind of open up your mind. Because some people, they say if that little fucking rat's mouth is too tight, that little baby, that little rear rat's mouth is too tight, that your thoughts are gonna be tight, and your neck's gonna be clenched up. So you gotta loosen that bing bing, you gotta loosen up that calamari, bruh. So that's something he said. Now I've never done that. But I've considered doing mushrooms, but I'm sober. So I think about that a lot. Would I be willing to sacrifice my sobriety to do, a psychedelic drug, that could have some positive effects. I do think about that a lot. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it. Now then my consequences would be, that I could then, my brain, being an addictive brain, might be able to say, oh, well, you did that. Now you got to get out of jail free card. You can do other drugs. You can do whatever you want. So that would be my concern. But that's what my buddy said. Put that, that be pleasy, bruh. That butt plug, that plug and play into that back little fucking brown counselor and see what happens. And see if that opens your mind, get your creative juices flowing. But yeah, that's something, But otherwise, man, for me, I think honestly a vacation sometime or relaxing can help my brain relax. Let's take one more call, man. Here we go.
Hey, Theo. What's up, man? My name's Houston. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha. And Wichita is where Barry Sanders is from. I don't know if people knew that or not, that Barry Sanders is from over there. And while I'm thinking about football, I want to say that our fantasy team is going to win. We're playing David this week, and we are going to be 1-1. And I also want to tell people that if you know a single mom that is in Charlotte or Appleton, Wisconsin, hit the hotline and submit them, 985-664-9503, so we can do something special for a single mom in those cities. I would appreciate it if you didn't say anything to the single moms yet, because I don't want to get their hopes up, because we got to make sure that logistically everything will work out. But hit the hotline if you know a single mom in one of those cities who could use a night out on the town. We can treat them to, pay for their sitter, and we'll go do something nice with them, just so that they feel cared for and they can have fun. And again, the number 985-664-9503. Okay, let's hear more. Onward.
Anyways, I'm just calling. I got a question. I've been seeing this girl. I'm 22. She's like 27, so she's a little bit older.
Okay, that 5 years older. Dude, when I was in high school and I lived in Arizona, I went and stayed at this fucking college girl's place, dude. And she made me sleep on her couch, bro. And I never been more erect in my entire life. And I've never broken into a girl's place to fuck or anything like that. But I have laid in a girl's apartment in the living room on the couch and wanted to fuck as much as possible. Anyway, more?
Anyways, we've just kind of been hanging out, doing the nasty here and there, but...
Okay, y'all been doing sex. More?
She told me that she loved me, man, and I don't reciprocate those feelings.
Okay, she loves you and you don't feel that way.
And I told her, like, she's a phenomenal person and everything. And I don't know, man. I waited a couple weeks to see where it went, and I don't feel the same way. But she just wants to keep hanging out, and she wants me to just keep, servicing her, I guess I should say.
And that's doing, getting fucking French, boy. You feel me? You get in there, but then you back out. That's that Frenchest move ever. Fucking is the most French thing you can do. Get in there and show up and then fucking retreat. Get in there, retreat. Get in there, retreat.
And I don't feel comfortable doing that, man. It doesn't feel right. But I mean, if she's okay with that, is that a healthy thing to do, do you think? Or should I really just call it quits?
Well, it depends. I mean, you're not into her for the love, you like spending time with her. She still wants to have sex. She knows how you feel. It sounds like everything's on the up and up. Now, if you're starting to feel bad about it, I would trust your instincts, but I wouldn't overthink it. Onward.
No, I think that'd be better. I don't know. Should I just keep seeing her, or should I just call it quits just for her own sake?
Well, her own sake, you can't determine that. Her own sake is her own sake. And I'm not saying that to preach at you or anything. And you know what? I shouldn't say that. I mean, here's what I'll say. This is a better way for me to say this. Man, I suggest that, you've been honest with her. If you are being honest with her and she knows, then you're okay. And you're not okay in a bad way where you're not taking advantage of her as long as you're respectful to her. When you're upfront with her about what's going on, then that's what's going on. And if she starts to like you more, now if you start to feel like it gets uncomfortable, you could say, hey, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling like this. These are my worries. But don't, but I sometimes, I'll start assuming what they're thinking or what they're feeling, or it's an egotistical thing I will do sometimes where I'll be like, oh, this isn't good for her. That's up to her. People are able to make their own choices, and it sounds like if she knows and you guys are communicating well, then that's good. She sounds like this is a healthy scenario. I think it's really sweet of you to call that you care enough to think about that kind of thing. But I say trust your instincts, man. But I'll say this, if you make a mistake right now with her, and in 20 years or 30 years you want to be on the Supreme Court, or you want to do something, or I'm not going to hold it against you, bro. Now, if it's a real severe crime, then that's different, If you murder or you blindfold or do something, real disastery and naughty, then that's different. But if you guys are just being drunk youths and being erotic and getting handsy, and if you get too aggressive or you get weird, man, I'm going to understand, or I'm going to take into consideration that 30 years later you could be a different person. Now, if you still doing that shit outside of the Time Saver or the 7-Elevens, bro, then pop, son. You going down. You ain't getting any of that. You don't get any understanding. But we all do things. We all make mistakes. You're thinking ahead. It sounds like that's not something that you're going to do. And so I appreciate you hitting the hotline to share just a reminder for us to think ahead. Man, you know what I felt a lot of this weekend, man? I just felt so grateful, dude. I got home and I had a warm bed, and I had some milk in my refrigerator and my New Orleans Saints was on TV. Man, I felt grateful. I just felt grateful that people came out to the shows this weekend. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I just never, especially this weekend. I mean, a lot of weekends have been great. This weekend, I never realized there were so many caring people out there. I mean, man, we had so much fun. We had so much fun. Dude, and it was just, man, it was great. It was great. I'll see you guys in Toronto this week. I'm going to take us out with the same song that we came in on. If I said something during this podcast you didn't like or that you disagree with or whatever, that's okay. You can hit the hotline and let me know. 985-664-9503. I've been wrong about so many things in my life. Today is no different. But I appreciate the people that called in, I appreciate the people that, that left that storm and came and got that laughter and took it back to wherever they're from. And maybe tomorrow they're helping somebody, clean out their soggy life. Or helping somebody wring out a family photo album. We try to do things and meet up and put a little bit of love back out into the world. I appreciate the people that came out this weekend and had fun. People that, sometime I would think, I used to look at certain type, sometimes if I'm around even different ethnicities or, stern women, sometimes I feel I feel like, oh, these people think because of how I sound or where I'm from that they think that I'm not going to like them. And then I see those people and that's not the truth, but I'll act uncomfortable because I'll think that, But then I see people like that come out to my shows and just say, man, I love the podcast and I want to be a part of, I'm so happy to be a part of what's going on here. And man, it makes me feel good. So anyway, enough of this sappiness. Young man who lost your brother, I'll talk to you this week. And I love you, bruh. And I'm so sorry. It is a dangerous game, addiction. It is extremely dangerous. And these drug companies, this shit needs to be, we can do better than this. We can do better than this. And we will. We will as people, man. I think if we love each other enough and we find ways to care about each other enough and we find ways to, to prove that we're not these things, we're not the things we carry. We're not our cars and our hairstyles and our skin and that we are, that at the base of us, that we just want to feel loved. And we feel that way by loving others. And if we're not afraid to show that, then man, we're going to fucking... That dude said he makes puzzles, man. I swear to God, bro. We're going to put this whole puzzle together. Fuck, I feel uplifted now, dude. I was feeling keyed out earlier, and now I feel uplifted, dude. You guys be good out there, man. Be good to yourselves. You probably deserve it. Fuck, I don't know. I'll talk to y'all next week. Gang, gang. Hurricane by Band of Heathens. Submitted to us by listener Josh Wilcox. Onward.
30 miles on the Gulf Stream, I hear the south wind moan. The bridge is getting lower, the shrimp boat's coming home. The old man down in the corner slowly turns his head, takes a sip from his whiskey bottle, and this is what he said. I was born in the rain on the Ponce train underneath the Louisiana moon. I don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, a devil's daughter, she's hard, she's cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. Man came down from Chicago, he gonna set that.
Everybody's got a hurricane, man. Everybody's got a hurricane, you know? We've all got one. Some people's are small and some people's are big. And some people don't even know they're standing in one. And sometimes we're standing in one and we don't even know it. You know? But they got some dark fronts moving in, baby. So we got to stay light in this MF. You feel me? Gang, gang, boy. You know what I'm saying, bruh? I'll fuck a pigeon, dude. I will not. I will not.
I don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, a devil's daughter, she's hard, she's cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans.